All right, guys. So we're going to do some Patreon requests today. Starting off with a request from my good friend Jason Voorhees 2011, who asked me to do a Fantastic Four RWBY crossover. As always, if you guys would like to have a Patreon request done, just hit the link in the description box below. Head on over to my Patreon, hit the third tier. That'll allow you access to do so. But other than that, let's get started with the video. So the story begins, what is it, season 8 or 9, when they're still with Ironwood and like working with Atlas. So essentially what it is that Ironwood brings the girls and the rest of the team together and essentially is like, hey, we've been working on Atlas has been working on a secret experiment, and I think it's time to show you guys what we've been doing. And that experiment is that they've basically detected a energy source that is invisible to the naked eye, but they've managed to find what it is, and it's coming from it's like a dimensional resonance. And Crow is immediately like, hard pass, because now like you've basically built a machine that takes energy from an unknown world or unknown dimension. Cool, that's not going to end bad. But Ironwood's like, look, this could help power our weapons. This energy source could actually be stronger than dust if we know how to harness it. So we've basically opened a doorway, and we need live test subjects, because we've tried sending like robots in there, and they keep getting destroyed. So, but we believe if we send in a live person, it won't affect them in the same way. Like, we've sent biological matter in there; it seems fine for what it is, but just go in and out just to see what it is. So Crow is immediately like, no, we're not doing this. But RWBY and the rest of Team RWBY are just like, yeah, we'll do it. We'll try. So portal gets opened, and they basically RWBY has this whole thing is like, to go boldly go where no huntress has gone before. And Weiss is just like, shut up, please. So they go in, and if you haven't guessed already, this is the negative zone. Yeah. They've gone into the negative zone, and essentially, like, immediately they see like how different the world is. And the thing of it is that even though while they're in the negative zone, while biological matter seems fine, it's very clear that semblances don't work. Like, semblances are fucked with in this dimension. So they're already like seeing having their semblances like act up, and of course all of that attention draws in the creatures from the negative zone, including one Annihilation. Of course, he's like, intruders from the other universe. And immediately they try to fight back, but again, they can't really depend on their semblances. But Yang is just like, we still got guns. Like, we could still fight even without our semblances. So they have to do that. And of course, they're just getting attacked by endless tides. And when Annihilation himself shows up, that's when things get really bad, because Annihilation proceeds to just beat the shit out of them until they get pulled back. But here's the thing, like, RWBY and the rest are like, oh, thank God Ironwood managed to pull us back. We cannot go there, and where the fuck are we? So it turns out when they got pulled back, they didn't get yanked back to their universe. They got yanked to the Marvel universe, specifically the Baxter Building. Yep, they're in the home of the Fantastic Four. So Reed and the rest of the FF are like, well, that's new. And Johnny is immediately like, what's up? And Sue just immediately goes, Johnny, they do not look old enough for you. They all look under 18. Like, don't even try it. So they're like freaked out, because they're like, holy shit, did we end up in another universe? Their semblances start working again, because this isn't like the DC universe, where for some reason their semblances wouldn't work and they get new powers. I don't know why the fuck that was. But I digress. So now that their semblances are working again, and freaked out that they're somewhere else thinking they got kidnapped, there's a fight. Of course there is. A fight breaks out between the FF and RWBY. Reed is trying to calm everyone down, but doesn't go so well. So you have like Yang and the Thing throw down because those two go start beating on each other. You have RWBY who takes on Human Torch. You have Blake who takes on Sue, and Weiss who takes on Reed Richards. Eventually, though, Johnny and RWBY are like, hey, you're not from the negative zone, and you're like, we're not here to hurt you. So everyone calms down after that, and Reed explains that, like, hey, we're the Fantastic Four. We protect, you're in our universe, and the negative, and they're like, we were in the negative zone because our universe was trying to harness energy from that universe. And Reed is like, that's a good one. That's a good one. Trying to tap into the negative zone. See if you can use that as an alternate universe energy source. That's totally cool. No one should ever try that. I know I shouldn't. For real though, what did you do? And then they explain, and they're like, oh no, you need to we'll get you back and then close the portal behind you because you don't know what Annihilus is capable of. And Yang's like, oh, we know. We got our ass handed by him. So they immediately are like, well, the only way we can get you back to your universe is going back through the negative zone and going the way you came. So, yeah. So they all board the Fantastic Car, and RWBY and Yang are like, this is the coolest thing ever. Yeah. So you have that going on with the team, and they're all like, it's kind of tight because it was like, well, we didn't prepare to have 8 people in here, and no, Johnny, no one's riding your lap. So Reed basically uses the dimensional signature from Team RWBY to guide them through the negative zone back to their world, back to their universe, to help them get back. So they do that, and when they come through the portal again, it's bad. Like, they have instantly discovered that it is gone pretty fucking bad. Essentially what's happened is that since Ironwood and everyone else at Atlas left the portal open, Annihilus just went through with the Annihilation wave behind him. So now you have Annihilus and the rest of those his bug creatures just attacking Atlas and the rest of the area. So RWBY and Team RWBY and the Fantastic Four, they mount up, they get ready for a fight and proceed to just fight their way to get at Annihilus. So as they're doing so, like, you have everyone break up into teams of 2 and fight different forces. And when Ben yells, "It's clobbering time," and Yang's just like, "I really like that." So she hey, Bug Brain, you know what time it is? It's clobbering time. And things like, Blondie, that's trademark. That's my thing. Johnny and RWBY are taking out monsters left and right. You have Sue and Blake taking out others. Reed and Weiss are doing their thing too. And eventually, the 8 of them manage to fight their way to Annihilus, who is just like, your universe will pay for, the transgressions of trying to step into my world. And of course, the Fantastic Four were behind this. And he's like, got a bit of an inferiority complex, don't he? Well, you have no idea. So all 8 of them team up to fight fight Annihilus. Annihilus. Here's the thing. Semblances were fucked up in the negative zone, but when creatures enter enter their world, Annihilus has discovered that, like, semblances are kind of like, like the cosmic control rod the semblance fucks with the cosmic control rod. So when they realize that, everyone just all 4 members use their all of Team RWBY uses their semblances together to fuck up his control rod, and he's eventually overwhelmed by his own power and defeated. But before they can kill him, Reed is just like, no, we'll take him back to the negative. If we take him back to the negative zone, the rest of his creatures will follow him. You don't want them here because they'll just spawn and continuously spawn. And also on top of that, the idea of Annihilus not living in the negative zone is just a power vacuum waiting to happen in that universe. So we'll just take him back. We'll put him there, and everyone will follow. So that's what happens, is that the FF go back to the portal, and Ironwood is just like, thank you for your assistance, and we won't use the negative zone again. And he's like, yeah, you shouldn't. But now Ironwood's curious, because now he's like, what's on the other side of that fence of what else we could use to stop Salem? But before they leave, everyone's just like, goodbye, let's have one big picture together. And it's actually RWBY who uses her semblance to make the 4 symbol in the air. Just a fun little after image. But anyway, there you go, guys. That is RWBY Fantastic Four RWBY. Want to thank my good friend Jason for sending me this Patreon request. And you guys tell me in the comments below what you guys think of it. Comment below, let me know. Other than that, hope you all enjoyed this. I'm Mr. Multiverse. I'll see you next time, Multiverse.